Donald Trump needs to get elected. Donald Trump has nothing to run on to get elected. He has failed in his foreign policy. He's failed in his domestic policy, at least if you're looking from the standpoint of the rest of the public. He has been a cacophony of failure, and yet he needs something to get elected on. He's decided to use immigration and as a proxy for immigration to pick on a 20-something, a 30-something, essentially young women who are in Congress, going so far as to use the cartoonish level of racism, at least it was determined to be back in the 60s, of go back to Africa. One of them is from Africa. The other three are American. I don't care whether you call it racist. What I care is that you understand that it is dangerous for the President of the United States to whip a large number of gun-toting lunatics into a fury over very specific individuals, especially understanding the complicated nature of this particular country in regards to issues of race. An immigrant, Muslim, is being singled out by the President of the United States. In addition to singling out her, she wasn't the only one. And I argue that Ilhan Omar and the people he singled out could be used, meaning other people could be found as proxies in various places across the United States. And the President of the United States is putting their life in danger. I don't care if you call it racist. I care that you at the very least understand that it is dangerous. And what do we have today? A cop made it known that AOC needs to get a bullet. It's a cop from Louisiana. But you got to wonder what whipped him up into a fury like this in order to just, in this particular moment, after Trump's hate speech, to say that a bullet needs to find its way to AOC. Welcome to the Soapbox. My name is Jamarl Thomas. This is the Progressive Soapbox. You can say Soapbox After Dark. I am going to be on fault lines tomorrow morning and by any means necessary tomorrow evening. It is going to be a long day in DC. So you're probably not going to see me tomorrow on the show. But if you guys enjoy this content, you find yourself coming back to this channel often, please like this video, share this video, and please consider supporting through PayPal or Patreon. Even $1 helps. This video is not going to be very long. This video is somewhat to make a point. I said the other day that what Trump was doing was dangerous. Whether it's racist, whether it's racism for political expedience, I don't care what it is. I care that it is dangerous. The President of the United States has used his Uber mouthpiece to say that various people, young women in Congress, are un-American and that they look down on us, that they're spitting on the troops. This is the context to which he's feeding these red meat eaters this information. And he's doing this to whip them up into a fury. He's giving his base red meat. But the red meat that he's given his base is somewhat of a racist red meat, if I'm being honest. It's being done so because there's various people that he's going to need to energize. And those people love it when he's saying, go back to Africa. They love it. They love it. They love it. Missing the fact that they're from America. But that point is not missed at all. That point is not missed at all. Just so we're very clear, this is what I'm talking about. This is not the part about Ilhan, by the way, at least not specifically. This is the part where he's talking about, quote unquote, the squad. AOC, the United States, Ayanna Pressley, the United States, African American, and I think it's Rashid Tlaib. Again, she's Palestinian American, but she's American. All of them are from America with the exception of Ilhan Omar. And she's an immigrant from Sudan, from Somalia, I'm sorry, if I'm not mistaken. This is Trump talking about the squad itself, meaning all of them.
Republicans know that America is the greatest force for peace and justice in the history of our world. But these left-wing ideologues see our nation as a force of evil. The way they speak so badly of our country. They want to demolish our Constitution, weaken our military, eliminate the values that built this magnificent country.
He's talking about members of Congress, that they're un-American, that they're spitting and trying to destroy the Constitution. Like, think of the language that we're using here, and he's feeding to these people. You only need a small percentage of people to believe this nonsense to be like, those people need to take a bullet. And it is in the best interest of America that they're defiling with their language and with their actions in Congress. Like, stop pretending as if everybody is wrapped tight. Everybody is not. There are 300 million people in this country. There's a history of right-wing violence in this country. And this is the direct audience to which he is speaking to.
You have to look at some of their recent comments, which are never talked about. When you see the 4 congresswomen, oh, isn't that lovely? I'll give you just a couple. I have pages and pages, but we don't want to bore you. We don't want to go too long. But we have to give a couple, because that's the great thing about live television. They can't cut it.
You can't cut live television. It's called cutting live television. Just saying. Goes further on this, and he starts talking about AOC by name. Let's see if I can find it. But I mean, this is like extraordinary. Like, can you think of a president in your recent memory that has talked about people in this way? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here. All right, so he brings up AOC by name.
Cortez. Somebody said that's not her name.
Damn it. All right, here we are.
But Cortez. Somebody said that's not her name. They said that's not her name, sir. I said, no. I don't have time to go with 3 different names. We'll call her Cortez. Too much time. Takes too much time.
Do I really need to explain why this is problematic? Even if you support Trump, can't you support Trump and disagree with the way he's going about running a campaign? I mean, this is disturbing. This is after, by the way, the CBP was found with a 10,000 member Facebook group, some of which were even in leadership, with images and rhetoric, violent, racist rhetoric, sexually derogatory in some cases, of them raping AOC. That's CBP after she was going after CBP and the immigration policies of Donald Trump. Trump is now mentioning her by name to a large crowd of people that clearly hate her guts. And he's going to jump around the country and do that. The president always gets a megaphone. The president continued, by the way, when it was put to him, like, dude, you don't think this is kind of racist? I mean, like, this is, people have been taking issue with you doing this. You don't have a problem with this? His response is essentially, no. And he goes further. They hate America.
You that many people saw that tweet as racist, and that white nationalist groups are finding common cause with you on that point.
It doesn't concern me because many people agree with me.
Yeah, white
and
nationalists.
all I'm saying, they want to leave, they can leave. Now, it doesn't say leave forever. It says leave if you want. But what it says, what that says is, if they're not happy with the United States, if they're doing nothing but criticizing us all the time, you see these people walking down criticizing the United States. We just hit the highest stock market in history.
Just so we're clear, they're doing their jobs. They're criticizing the United States because it is their job to do that. They're Congress members. As members of Congress, the things that they find wrong, they're trying to put laws through to change. And a more important point, you are not the United States. There's a difference between the bus and the bus driver. You are, at this point, driving the bus because you won the election. However, again, there is a difference between the bus and the bus driver. When you lose that next election, you will walk out and the policies of the United States would change. At which point, the Republican Party will be criticizing the policies of the United States. But it really is of that administration. Her criticizing your policies is not, in fact, the same thing as her downing the United States. There is a dramatic difference in those things. And even if she was criticizing the United States, even if she hated this country, so what? That's still not just cause to kick her out of the country. If she wanted to leave, she would leave. She's here. And she has every right to criticize it just like everybody else. Just like you were criticizing it when Obama was in office. Can't believe people are okay with that. And you know who else agrees with me on this? Ben fucking Shapiro. Ben Shapiro. Even Ben Shapiro comes out and says she belongs in this country, she's in this country. He says some really hateful stuff about her, but he at the very least says she belongs in this country. This cop in Louisiana, right here. The officer, Charlie Rispoli, has been on the force since 2005. A Greta police officer posted a comment on his Facebook page this past week calling for U.S. Representative AOC a vile idiot who needs a round. And I don't mean the kind that she used to serve. He's talking about a bullet. She needs a bullet. She needs to be shot. This is a cop that's on the force. You think he's alone? This is not a bad apple. This is not a bad apple. This guy is common. The comment, which alludes to the freshman Democrat's past work as a New York bartender, while apparently saying she should be shot, comes amid increasingly scrutiny of racist and violent social media posts by police officers and departments across the country. It's amazing that that needed scrutiny. These people are on the force with all of this authority endowed into them by the state and is interacting with individuals alone. Many of them don't have body cameras where you can monitor their behavior, and when they do end up murdering somebody, they get off. And he's out here on Facebook, meaning whoever he was talking to, he felt he was within a community of people that would be okay with his comment. Probably other cops. She should be shot. She should be shot. That tells more about you than her. Because whatever you want to think of her, there is nothing that she's done. Meaning, what do you disagree with? Do you think you disagree with the Green New Deal? You think she should be shot for the Green New Deal? Do you disagree with her because she believes people should get health care? What are you disagreeing with her to the degree where you believe she should be shot? And what took place between these moments where you thought, I'm so angry at her, I need to put a bullet in her, or somebody needs to put a bullet in her? What was it? What was it? What was the thing that bothered you so? Even if you disagree with her policies on immigration, are the policies on immigration so much so where you are so enraged by her immigration policy that you believe she should be shot? I hope you get my point. What is it that enrages you so? As much as I dislike George Bush, I might have said he should be in a prison. I might say he should be dragged before the Hague. But I'm at the very least talking about a judicial process to get somebody who is a war criminal. What is your issue? Which makes me think the issue is not necessarily something she's doing per se. Maybe it's something more about who she is, just by virtue of who she is, and being enraged with the President of the United States that push you to that behavior. Whether this guy is within a culture where these guys were talking about it, whether this guy was listening to Trump go on about it and got enraged in that moment and put out those tweets, whatever this was, there is nothing that is presented to us that would go so far as to say that somebody should have a bullet in them, especially in regards to a freshman 20-something-year-old. Nothing. The President of the United States, however, screaming at the height of his lungs her name and a bunch of other freshmen in the context of them being un-American and looking down on America and spitting on the troops, putting it within this context to a bunch of gun nuts, lunatics of sorts. You only need one. You only need one. Don't tell me that this is not dangerous. Don't come at me and say, oh, dude, I don't see the big deal. It's a big fucking deal. It's a big fucking deal. Do you think this guy is the only one? And do you think Donald Trump doing that speech pushes this to be more or less of a potential for somebody to react to Donald Trump's words and to take Donald Trump up on his words that these people are un-American, that these people are spitting on their troops, that these people hate this country? You're assuming everybody is rap tight. They are not. I don't care if you want to call it racist. I care that you understand that it's dangerous. Thanks, all.